The NFL first round is officially in the books, and Brett Veach agreed with Chiefs Kingdom. There was a key area of concern for the Kansas City Chiefs, and it was the receiver position, and Patrick Mahomes has a new weapon. Today, we will discuss the pick of Xavier Worthy and what to look forward for the Kansas City Chiefs going into day 2. Now with that, let's get the chit chat and let's have some fun. Day 1 of the NFL draft was wild. It was crazy. I think it lived up to the hype. There may not have been that much movement early on, but then the trades started coming in, the crazy picks in the beginning, and the Chiefs ended up with another weapon. I also want to thank everyone who joined the live stream yesterday. I know I kind of mentioned I might be going live tonight. That will not be happening. I won't be going live tonight, but I do have this video dropping. I will have other shorts coming up as well, and I'll have shorts covering what the Kansas City Chiefs do in round 2 and potentially in round 3, because we know what Brett Veach is all about, and just because they don't have a round 3 pick doesn't mean he could trade up. So stay tuned. Day 2 is one of my favorite days for round 2 and 3. It's exciting. It's fun to cover, and I will still be watching, and I will still keep y'all up to date. Now, let's talk about what yesterday entailed, because the Chiefs, of course, when you're the Super Bowl champions, and it's something Chiefs Kingdom is all too familiar with nowadays, when it's draft weekend and when it's the first round, you got that last pick. So you have to hope that a guy that you fell in love with, whether it be offensive tackle, whether it be the wide receiver position, falls to you. And the way the board was shaping out, specifically for the wide receivers, was looking very, very nice. And the Chiefs guy fell to them. And let's just stop it right there when I say the Chiefs guy fell to them, because we knew Brett Veach, with the rumors swirling around and how he moves, he was always eager to trade up. But the reports was for an offensive tackle. And when you were watching the first round, it seems like an offensive tackle was every other pick. Every team wanted to shore up their line. And then once the top 8 guys were gone, it's like, okay, Brett Veach, you got to redirect the vision, and you may have to focus on the wide receiver position, or even, if worst comes to worst, defensive players were not being selected. So go after a cornerback. I know Chiefs Kingdom may not have liked it, but if you get one of those top guys, I would have been happy. But the craziness just begun, because when pick number 28 came around the corner, which the Buffalo Bills held, we all saw it said trade. But the rare thing happened. Usually when it says trade, they let you know the team right away. They weren't saying the team. They just said the Bills have agreed to a trade and that they will be moving back in the draft. And we're like, okay, who? But we all didn't anticipate it was going to be the Kansas City Chiefs, because why on earth would the Buffalo Bills do that? The last time they traded with the Kansas City Chiefs, they probably got the best player of all time, the GOAT, in Patrick Mahomes. And then when you think about Buffalo Bills trades, it wasn't one that involved them, but one where the Kansas City Chiefs jumped the Buffalo Bills to get Trent McDuffie. So there's just no way the Buffalo Bills would want to get tied into all that nonsense. Well, think again, because they did. They traded with the Kansas City Chiefs as the Chiefs jumped from 32 to 28 to select the new speedster receiver in Xavier Worthy. And honestly, the Kansas City Chiefs did not give up much. They swapped first round picks, then they swapped a 3rd and a 4th, which the 3rd went to Buffalo and the Chiefs got a 4th, and then they swapped late round picks at all. So the Kansas City Chiefs still have as many picks coming into this as what they are going to have leaving it, of course, not involving any trades in the future, but they came in with 7, and they're still working with 6 remaining picks after Xavier Worthy. I know, that's crazy. I think that's a steal. Just to jump up 6 spots, I'll take it. Well, actually 4 spots, my bad. My math was off. To get their guy. Let's talk about their guy, because now I'm seeing a lot of things on social media from fan bases, from outsides looking in. It's 2 different perspectives. The one is Chiefs Kingdom going nuts and saying, oh, the Kansas City Chiefs, this sign still delivered a 3-peat. Mahomes has now a fast-speeding receiving core again with Worthy, with Hollywood Brown, and then you can work on the inside with Kelsey and with Rashee Rice. Yes, it does sound nice. The receiving core is a huge upgrade, and I really do like the pick. And then you got the other side saying, Xavier Worthy is just a speed guy. He's a John Ross 2.0. So let's address both of those. And we'll start with, did the Kansas City Chiefs really just solidify the three-peat? I mean, from the Chiefs Kingdom fan perspective, I really hope they did. I love what they're doing. I love that they knew their guy they wanted and they went after him. And I know this wide receiving draft was filled with receivers. And you could choose any one of these guys that you would fall in love with. And that's another thing I heard is, man, the Chiefs could have got A.D. Mitchell. They got Leggett, Ladd McConkey. They could have. You're right. But you got to think of it in the Kansas City Chiefs perspective. Brett Veach, Coach Reed, Xavier Worthy was the guy all along. Trust me, I would have wanted A.D. Mitchell over Worthy. But the fact that they went with Worthy, I'm comfortable with it. I think he is a great addition to this team, and I think in his rookie year, he will produce. And he will produce similar to what Tyreek Hill did. He will be exponential in the return game. And then he will have those trick little gadget plays, and then he will be involved in the offense. Will he be a future wide receiver number one? I don't know. I don't have that answer. But what I do feel comfortable with is he doesn't need to be one right away because you still got Travis Kelce. You still got Rashee Rice. You got Hollywood Brown. Xavier Worthy is not going to have to be heavily dependent on, and that's what makes me feel comfortable the most. Learn the Kansas City Chiefs playbook because we know Coach Reed's playbook is very, very difficult and overwhelming for a lot of rookies where you're just not going to get thrown on the football field right away. What we seen Rashee Rice do was phenomenal in his rookie year, but it's rare. The last receiver under Coach Reed tree to have a great rookie year was Deshaun Jackson. So it's rare. And I'm glad to see that Xavier Worthy doesn't have to be heavily dependent on. And you can just basically have the training wheels on him and let him do what he does best. And then when he gets into that playbook and he knows it by heart, like the back of his hand, he's going to be a fun wide receiver in this offense. So I don't know if it solidifies the Kansas City Chiefs as a three-peat, but man, I sure love having that extra weapon. Now, let's talk about the naysayers. Let's talk about the people who really just believe Xavier Worthy is a John Ross 2.0. And for the fans coming in and for the viewers that don't know who John Ross is, he was the fastest man in the combine to break the record, and he was that speed demon. And then when he was drafted by the Cincinnati Bengals, nothing was meant after since, and they were just like, oh, you're just speed. It didn't translate to the next level. Xavier Worthy and John Ross are completely two different players. And I would have said that even if the Kansas City Chiefs didn't draft him. Xavier Worthy, he has a route tree. He has been highly efficient and productive with the Texas Longhorns for 3 years. In 3 years, all 3 years, he had over 750 yards. John Ross never did any of that. And also, there's a physicality to Xavier Worthy's game. As surprising as that may sound, yes, a 167-pound receiver can be physical. And I was watching some of the tape as well. He is not afraid to take a hit. And that's one of my main concerns with him is, if you get hit by one of those big boys in the NFL, can you withstand? And I think that's going to be a key concern for all the Chiefs Kingdom. But to see some of the highlights and see how he can be an aggressor, he can be physical, is good moving forward. And Coach Reed even touched on it. He is not concerned with Xavier Worthy's weight. The nutritionists will get him right. They said they want him around 175 to 180, which is not a stretch at all. He's 167, 170 right now. So if you put another 5 to 10 pounds of muscle on, he's going to be right where they want him. And also, Chiefs Kingdom is comparing, we got the fastest guy in the league because that's the Tyreek Hill comparison. Coach Reed touched on that as well. He said, Xavier Worthy is not Tyreek Hill. He said, if anything, he's going to compare him a little more to Deshaun Jackson's game, which I like a lot. And then even C.J. Stroud came out and said, yeah, he can be like Deshaun Jackson, but Worthy has a better route tree. He's a better route runner. You guys need to get it through your head. Xavier Worthy is not just speed. He is a legit receiver, and put in the right offense, which the Kansas City Chiefs are the right offense, he can groom and be a very good receiver in the NFL. And that's what I'm excited about. We're going to see the explosive plays. We're going to see the plays where we're like, damn, that speed we missed and we love to have back in our offense. But once he learns the playbook and once he is well developed in this offense, he's going to be a fun receiver, and we're going to be excited to have guys like Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy as a receiver 1 and a receiver 2. There's good things to look forward for this Kansas City Chiefs offense. Now, let's take a quick dive into day number 2 of the NFL draft, because the Kansas City Chiefs already addressed the wide receiver need. They do have other needs on defense, cornerback position, and also on offense, the offensive tackle. I would expect and assume them to try to address that in round number 2, specifically the offensive tackle. Now, how do they do that? Because majority of your day 1 starters, they're gone. You're probably not going to find a day 1 starter in round number 2. There are a couple guys like Patrick Paul, and then you got a kid out of Yale as well, which I am not going to butcher his name out, but if you guys paid attention to any of the draft, you guys know who he is. But it would be likely that the Chiefs may have to trade up. Will the Chiefs trade up in back-to-back days to get the player they want? I don't know, but I'm not going to doubt Brett Veach by any stretch of the imagination. But let's say they stay at pick number 64. More O-linemen are going to be gone. The cornerbacks are going to start flying off the board as well. I do not think they double dip at wide receiver that early. So 64 could literally be your best player available, and I'm fine with it. The Chiefs can expand and build their roster just by drafting the best player available. And I think the good thing looking forward as well, Donovan Smith won this draft. I am literally 99.9% sure that after the draft, Donovan Smith will be back as a Kansas City Chief. So even though left tackle is a need, the Chiefs don't got to put too much heavy pressure in the draft to try to reach for a future left tackle. Let that board fall to you, and Brett Veach and Coach Reed get to work. But with that, Chiefs Kingdom, I'm signing off. Let me know in the comments down below, how are you feeling about Xavier Worthy now, a Kansas City Chief? Speed, speed, speed. The Legion of Zoom is back. Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, they're going to take the tops off. The offense should be fun. It should be electric once again as well. Please be sure, if you haven't already, to subscribe to the channel. And also, I do have the memberships live on the channel, so if you are interested in that, the join button should be down below. Welcome each and every one of you. And hey, if you're not welcome to that, I completely understand, but also the simple thumbs up goes a very far way. So please hit that like if you do like my content. With that, I'm checking out. Y'all take care. Peace.